so what we want to do, first of all, is ask yourself a question. So let's go through the steps of doing the closing on renewal. So we want to do these two things. How to close from, you've already done the other steps. So this is really important. Remember with sales we had three things. They have to want to do it. They have to have some reason to do it now. So that means there's a deal. There's a reason to do it now. Now that deal could be financial, and in our case a lot of times it is, but it could also be if they don't do it now they lose an opportunity. If I was buying tickets for a football game, if I bought the tickets now and the game was today, like I'm missing the Colorado game for you guys, because it starts right now, by the way. So, anyway, of all the time I'm teaching, it's for the ASU Colorado game is now in Boulder. In Boulder. And I'm an Arizona State University fan, it's in Boulder, and I will not look at my watch to check, or my thing to check, probably to check the score. But anyway, while we're doing this, is that crazy? Like of all times. Anyhow. Anyway, sorry, I'm a little stressed. But anyway, so if I was buying tickets to that game, if I bought them right now, they would be worth something. If I bought them in 4 hours, they're worthless. So there's other deals. You know, if you threw in stuff. I'm just saying that because deals don't have to be money. They could be things that would be important to get at a certain time. Okay? So as you're thinking about these three things, don't always think it's got to be financial. It could be stuff. It could be something they really want now, something they want before black belt, something they want on their way to black belt, something they want as a white belt. So you can use your own imagination to think of that, but don't be restricted. The third thing is they need to feel safe. So for renewals, that generally is they feel comfortable with you. Okay? So now how do they feel comfortable with you? That they've trained for a few weeks. In my school, I generally put the target as about 2 weeks. Master Smith and I were having a little discussion about this, and he says 4 to 6 weeks. Some of you guys think they need to cook longer than that. Whatever you do, don't go that much longer. You know, it's not 3-4 months, and the longer they cook, the better they're going to be. The longer they cook, the more they get rotten on the vine. That's not going to help you. It's going to make it much worse. So I'm a believer about 2 weeks is when we start looking for people that are ready. Okay, so that's an important point. So those three things have to be part of this. That has to be a prerequisite. Now, Master Smith went over all this with you yesterday. I don't want to spend time on this today because my goal is that you learn the skill of how to do the closing. Okay? Now, what is required for this is you need to have some sort of feature and benefit sheet. There needs to be a feature and benefit sheet. Now, I've got now I don't use an iPad. I do not do this electronically for me rant on electronics. But I'm showing you this. I could use one I'm showing you right now. This is this is the book that we have, and there's some pieces we go through. And you see me do this past, present, future thing. You saw this. You were at the Colorado thing when we did this, I think, right? And we go through this as part of the process. Again, we talked about that with Master Smith. I won't do it now, and you can look at the video if you want to review it. And by the way, MMA school, Travis, you guys should be doing this too. If I was in your school, I don't want you guys not to think this applies to you. To me, it even applies more. If I went to your school as a 52-year-old guy and you wanted me to enroll, would you accept me in your school as a 52-year-old guy, right? But I should be like totally inspired that this would be, and I think you guys could too, get me motivated about how this is going to change my life and be amazing for me. Be amazing for me. That's what this is. This is the time that you make this be the moment that's going to change my life. And I mean that sincerely. That's not hyperbole. That is really what needs to happen. Before all of this, what the features and benefit sheet is this thing. Crap, this is my old one. Oh well, that's okay. It still works. So this is my old one. I have a new one that's even a little bit better. But the features and benefit sheet would explain the programs of how you're going to do that. So at the moment that I'm getting me so motivated, I had the ninja visit, I filled the application, I took the class, I'm really engaged in it. This is the most exciting thing. It's going to be so great for me. Now I'm explaining for a few moments how we're actually doing it. Okay? So if you don't have something like this, you need to have it. You can't just take the class and then not have a visual representation of that. And what's important about the features and benefits sheet is two things. And I think, Amanda, we looked at yours, it was really cool on the wall, but my comment was it wasn't really clear what features and benefits are. So what you might notice, and you can't see this up close, you know, maybe you can, but it's important to know what features and benefits are. So, for example, this has a feature and a benefit. The bold, if you can see here, it has bold and then underneath is like light colored. I copied some of this from Grandmaster Clark, actually had some of these concepts so that you could make it easier for your staff. So you see how it's bold and then underneath is light? Because I'm trying to train my staff so that there's and you don't have to use this format, but it's graphically different. Yeah, and I posted this. Hey guys. Oh, there they are. Hello, sir.
A quick question for everybody. Is there anybody here who's going to like pass out if you don't eat before 5? You are?
But that's okay.
Okay. Because your option would be to give them a little break to go to the dining hall.
We can.
Which could probably be pretty quick in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, because
straight through.
they have
Yeah, it
short
has
hours.
a short window.
Can they get food and bring it back?
Yeah.
You guys want to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Now would probably be a really good time to do that because we just started on this.
Let me get a
Now's a
picture.
good time while it's open.
Here, you guys give us a good picture. I'll go back.
Okay.
Is that on our Facebook group?
Yes.
And what's it called?
Program sheets.
Dining hall.
So, here's what, let me give you a quick assignment if you're going to do that. I think this is great.
Excellent, thank you.
Features and
Thank you.
benefits is what it's called.
So one thing you could do, let me give you a quick assignment and then let's hightail it to go do that and come back. I think that's great. And bring a little bit of food to eat while you're, bring some snacks too if you want to eat some there and come back. But let me give you a quick assignment. So if you're doing that, I want you to just think a little bit about the features of your leadership program and what the benefits are. So the difference is this. Understand that it's really important. Features are what you do and what you teach. The benefits are why they should care. So why do I care about learning form if you're in Taekwondo? Or why do I care about learning board breaks? Or why do I care about learning a move in Jiu-Jitsu? Why do I care about learning whatever it is you're teaching? Why do I care? So just think about it from that point of view, if you're explaining to a 52-year-old man, or if you're explaining to a parent. So just that's a little bit of an assignment while you're gone, and then I'll ask you about it when we get back. We're going to role play a lot of this, so we've got to kind of hustle, because I want to make sure you get some practice in when you guys get back, okay?
Sure.
Okay, let's go. So we need to write, I want you guys to write, let's get to work here. I need you to write 3, I hate to say this, but this may be a weak point for you I want to identify. All right, so remember, you've already gotten to the point where you got them really motivated about a goal. You got them where they've set their goal to second-degree black belt, maybe third-degree black belt. If they're already a second-degree black belt, then third-degree and fourth-degree black belt. Now you got to talk about features and benefits. You have a sheet that has features and benefits. Many of you have one, but I've seen a lot of yours, and it's not done right because you're having a little trouble with what feature and benefit is. Feature is what you do or what you sell. Benefit is why it matters. So if I sell a Ferrari, we're talking about this example, it has an aluminum block and it has fuel injection. Some of you geeks probably care. Most people don't care. Why would a guy care? Because you can, I don't know, you look hot, you can pick up chicks, I don't know, maybe that's why. Some of you young guys might care about that, or maybe because it can go fast. Maybe girls want it because it's high status, or maybe girls like it because you look good in it, or, I'm not trying to be sexist, but it's emotional things, right? It's emotional things. So those are benefits. What are the benefits for us? It's all this stuff we talked about in the past, present, future thing that you talked about, but now you have to relate your martial arts program to those things, which often we're not good at. Why? Because you're really good at talking about jargon. You're good at talking about forms, or all these Chinese words, or Japanese words, or Korean words. You're really good at that. And you say the word, I'm going to use forms because I'm a Taekwondo, and you say that, and you think that everybody knows what the hell you're talking about. Well, guess what? Y'all know what I'm talking about, but nobody else on the rest of the planet knows what the hell you're talking about. They think it's a form you're filling out for taxes. Nobody knows what you're talking about when you talk about this stuff. Nobody knows. Not some people, nobody. Nobody knows. Make a list of all the stuff, all the features that you teach. All the features, all the stuff you teach. Nunchucks. Nobody knows You think, well, everybody knows what nunchucks are. No, a lot of people don't know. Well, everybody knows what grappling means. No, they don't know. Well, everybody knows what board breaking means. No, a lot of people don't go around watching YouTube videos of people jumping up in the air breaking boards. Just you guys. Master Smith just showed me a video, that's when he interrupted, of a little kid doing nunchucks. Yeah, you guys watch stuff like that. Nobody else does. You're all weirdos. And you have to learn to communicate with people like normal people. This is where you have to do that. So we're going to do that now and see if you all can be normal people. I am not optimistic. We'll see. Okay, so your challenge here is feature, write a feature that you do. Don't just use what I just used, forms or nunchucks. Let's just use something different just for fun. Write a feature. Everybody's got to do it independently. So if you're a team, all three of you got to write something different. Write a feature, something that you teach, and then write a benefit. Why that matters for me as a person. Then write another feature, you got to do three. And then write a benefit. Why that matters for me as a person. Write a feature and write a benefit. And then I'm going to give you a second challenge, but go ahead and do that first. And you're going to sell your program to me based on these three features and benefits. This could change your life and change how everything you do about sells. Where's your buddies? Where'd they go? This is important stuff. Husband and wife, so I'm not saying anything. You know. Whoever's missing this.
If you don't want to, you can do it.
This.
If I'm making the rest of them.
Okay, three of them. Everybody got that? Three features, three benefits. Three features, three benefits. Why it matters to people. Why it matters to people. You could say you teach them kicking, or you teach them self-defense, or you teach them something. Why it matters to people. No cheating. Can't help your teammates. Okay? Okay, so now, what I want you to do on the benefits side is you add another extra on the benefits. So normally people enroll, we're just going to use kids. For those guys who do mostly adults, you can imagine a different benefit. We're going to do kids now. Normally people enroll for one of four reasons: self-confidence, self-discipline, physical fitness, or safety. So self-confidence could be self-esteem or whatever, but we're going to use those four things. Self-confidence, self-discipline, physical fitness, or safety. We're going to use self-confidence. And I want you to write an extra benefit only related to self-confidence. So one little extra benefit only related to self-confidence for each of your three features. So you've got a feature and a benefit, and then additional blurb on self-confidence.
How that specific feature will help with self-confidence?
Yes, how that feature will help with self-confidence. So, like, let's say your benefit, what your feature was weapons training, I would say that helps with coordination. That might be a benefit. So how coordination and self-control, how would that help with self-confidence? You'd have to add another benefit on how that would help with self-confidence. I won't tell you what I would say, because I don't want you to cheat and use mine. Cheaters. Okay, everybody got that? I'll give you a second. So your job is three features and then three benefits with it. Three features and three benefits, and then one of the benefits has to have self-confidence with it. And Master Olson got out of it.
Yes,
He got to skate out of the thing. You got yours?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. First one done must be the best.
Well,
we're almost
incomplete.
You use the shorthand version. You with the one word benefit. The one word benefit, that's a good way to do it. Okay. So who wants to share? Hey.
Diabetes lunch.
Yeah, there we go. Chocolate cake,
Pretzels, popcorn.
pretzels, popcorn, there we go. He's like super skinny too. All these skinny guys are like, oh, I eat whatever I want. I was trying to do. And I'm like, I have to watch whatever, except that I say that, but then they brought me the golden Oreo things.
those are free.
Those are free. She says they're free calorie.
Free.
Well,
I gave them to you.
No? Come on, there's 3 calories. Okay, so features, benefits, right? 3 features that you teach, 3 things you teach, and then what are 3 benefits of learning that. And then we're going to learn from each other a little bit because you guys are going to have awesome benefits. We have to be able to communicate benefits. So let's just do this, and then I'll give you some ideas about how you can do this, because you have to construct your feature benefit page. If you don't have one, it's got to be really good. And then this is what you're going to go through with people. And then I'm going to have you practice it with your partners. Oh, we got not much time, so we got to hustle. All right, let's see. So somebody share theirs with me. We got, all right, the brave one. What do we got? Everybody here?
So for my
3 features. What's feature number 1 and benefit number 1? What do we got?
we have monthly leadership speakers.
Okay, monthly, so that is definitely a feature, because that's something they do. We have monthly leadership speakers, and what's the benefit of that?
Learning from local leaders about being successful in our own territory.
Okay, so learning from local leaders about being successful in your own area. Okay, good. Why does that help me with self-confidence?
Will they learn to be a public speaker by watching them? Be confident about speaking publicly. Also, they can get, learn confidence in the fact that they don't have to move away from our little town. They can be successful where they are.
So parents, don't worry, your kids will never leave you because they're going to be networked in town.
Well, that's good. They expand their network.
Kids can never leave your mom and dad, right? You have to stay with Fred and Maurice.
What's the
Okay,
feature from
that's pretty close. So that's like, give her a hand. That was pretty good. Okay, so I don't like the confidence one though. That was a lame clap. That was a lame clap. Give her a hand. That was good. She was brave. So that was pretty good. That was a pretty good benefit, actually. Very good. The benefit on confidence wasn't that great. It could have been better. The way I would say that is, the number 1, the reason this is going to help you with confidence is the number 1 fear in America is speaking in public. And they're going to learn and see how to speak in public, even at 5 years old. Most important thing they can do. How does that sound? Sound better? So see, we can improve this. Okay, somebody else give me a feature and benefit. That was great. We can come back to you. Okay, give me 1 feature and a benefit.
Personal and character development.
See, how is that a feature? Why is that a feature? What do you do? I don't know what that means. What is that? I don't know what that means. What do you do for your personal character development?
Well, what we would do is we would teach them a system of core values that's going to allow them to dictate the directions and the things they do in their life and have the principles of success.
So that sounds like, so the problem I have with that is, so when you guys hear that, what do you think?
That sounds like a benefit.
Huh?
That sounds like a benefit.
It sounds more like a benefit. What else do you think? If you heard that, what does it sound like? Yeah.
That'd be hard to sell to an adult, I feel.
Might be hard to sell to an adult, right? That's another problem. And we're thinking kids a little bit here, but if you said when you shift this to an adult, you have to reshuffle it a little bit. I think he was doing kids, so that's okay. What else is?
Isn't that as tangible? You mentioned something that you do, and I think you want something physical that you can show them.
Yeah, see, I don't know what he's doing to do that.
Yeah.
Is he doing, see, she said monthly, she brought monthly speakers from the local community. That's something very specific. I know what that means, right? You know what she's going to do. Like, you have, now, personally, I think that's a big pain in the butt. I don't want to have to bring people from the local community. I cringe, I have anxiety every time I think about that, having to actually execute that in my school. I would never want to do that. But she's doing that, that's fine, God love her, it's great. So anyway, I don't want to have to do that, but if she's doing it, great. That would be a big selling point. I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But see, what you said, I don't know what that means. So as a feature, he's not describing the feature. I don't know what that means. So then I asked, what are you actually doing? And he still couldn't describe it. Do you guys understand what he's doing? Yes? No? No, see, I don't know what he's doing. See, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, except that you guys talk this way sometimes. You try to say, well, what are you doing? And then you tell me a big story. So I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I'm walking over here, I'm walking over to the front of the room. You know what I'm doing. Instead of saying, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna, gotta make some my way somewhere. I'm gonna do some things. See, that's like, I don't know what the hell you're saying. We're not communicating well. That is a problem from a sales point of view. What was your benefit of that, by the way?
It teaches them the value of life success principles.
See, you gotta be careful because that's good. Now, why is that important for self-confidence?
Personal achievement.
That's just some words, though. I don't know how that's good for self-confidence. See, it's not tangible. So you gotta work on this one because it's not tangible. It's not something that's really specific. Let's make it more specific, okay? So it's hard to sell that, right? See, hers sounded like something you could buy, right? I'm getting monthly seminars with the local community. His sounded like an infomercial from an TV evangelist. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but this is creative. Look, a lot of you guys are sounding the same way. So don't feel bad. If you feel bad about this, I apologize. I do apologize. But a lot of us sound the same way because we're trying to talk people into stuff. And our guys, our employees sound the same way. So stick with me a second because it ends up being, it's really good. It's so awesome because you're going to get all this great leadership skills and you're going to learn to be a leader. You're going to sound, it's like, yeah, whatever, man. See, you sound that way, right? But hers sounded like you're going to get monthly things from the thing, and it's going to help you with self-confidence because I made it better, right?
Would it be better in this case, instead of saying personal development, we're using leadership books?
Yeah,
And then we say
we're
personal
studying
development.
leadership books. Yeah, we're studying leadership books from some of the most
Famous writers, yeah.
well-known writers. For example, Anthony Robbins, Dr. Something Something, Dr. Something Something, and they're on the shelf. Now, your kid's 5. You're going to see some of this stuff and see how it applies to your 5-year-old. If he learns this when he's 5, how's that going to matter when he's an adult? It's going to build his self-confidence to some extreme degree that beyond what anybody else is going to be able to achieve. Does that sound better?
Yeah.
See, I told him what he's actually going to do. That's what a feature is. It's the aluminum block on my Ferrari. That's the feature. It's the thing. It's the actual thing. It's not that, hey, it's so cool you get to pick up chicks. See, that's a benefit. The benefit is not a thing. The feature's the thing. See, he lied in front, so he wants the Ferrari now. But anyway, I won't tell your wife. So, all right, you got the idea, but see how you got to refine this. We got to go on. Let's pick somebody else's. Go ahead. Yes.
So this is from people who are in basic going up to.
Yeah, this is your leadership. This is your leadership features and benefits. Go
So
ahead.
we don't do sparring with our basic students, but we do with our leadership. So I
Okay, so this is a benefit that's unique, right? This should all be stuff. If it's either something they don't do in leadership, in basic, or it's something they do more of or better. Okay, so it has to be emphasized why it's a different thing. If it's the same thing they do in basic, it would be kind of silly. You get to use our floor, that would be silly. Okay,
So feature, self-defense, and point sparring. Benefit.
so self-defense and point sparring. Those are 2 different things. I would separate those. So self-defense, let's use self-defense. So I'm going to fix that right now. Self-defense.
I have advanced self-defense training as a different thing, but this is specifically things wearing the gear. It's a hard thing to.
Okay, please just start over and explain the feature for me.
Sorry. The feature is just sparring. I'll just say sparring.
Sparring.
Yes, okay. Take the skills you have learned in the basic class to a more realistic place to develop your reaction time, targeting, and stamina as a benefit.
That was really long. Say it slower. You sound like Adam.
I'm sorry. I can say it
Go
faster.
for that.
Okay.
Say it, Adam. No, I'm just kidding. Now I'm challenged Adam. Adam's going to do it faster.
Go ahead, my mom would grow up.
He's awesome. All right, go ahead. Do it again, but slow it down
I'll slow
so we can actually hear it. Because everybody needs to know. This is how you guys got to start listening to these things, okay? When it's somebody else, you go, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But then when you say it, you go, oh, that makes perfect sense to me. Because you know what you're trying to say, right? You see the difference? You know what you're trying to say. So when you say you do metrics and forms in this, you go, oh, that makes perfect sense to me. And nobody else knows what the hell you're talking about, right? Does it make sense? Okay, go ahead.
Take the skills you have gained in the
No,
basic.
feature and then benefit, just give me the
Features.
feature,
Feature,
sparring.
Sparring. Benefit. The ability to take the skills gained from the basic class to a more.
Slow that, it's too fast, man.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous because I'm being on the spot here. Take the
Okay.
skills you have gained from the basic class to a more realistic place to develop your reaction time, targeting, and stamina.
What do you think about that benefit?
Somebody sounds like a
Reaction time.
Reaction time's good.
I think you just simply learn to defend yourself. Be better at defending yourself, or something.
Well, but learn to defend yourself is good, because that's a benefit external to martial arts, right? And that's part of what they're doing. Reaction time is probably good, right? That's improved, that helps them with baseball, that helps them with reaction time if they're responding to emergencies in the real world. So reaction time's good. Defending themselves in the real world would be real important in sparring.
It's in a separate section, sorry. Yeah.
You put it in sparring too,
Yeah, but-
because that's like kind of important. So I think that needs to be in there. So I might say sparring. This develops an incredibly fast. You could just say reaction time. You don't have to put a lot of superlatives in these things. But sparring develops fast reaction time and you learn to self-defend yourself. I mean, I'm doing it off the top of my head. I might make it better. And then how does it help you with self-confidence?
I usually address something like it's the sparring helps them with problem-solving skills under a stressful situation.
Okay, so reaction time, that might be a reaction time thing. You might add that with reaction time, and it helps them in stressful situations. They learn to solve problems quickly. And you could say, hey, believe it or not, sparring is also helping you solve problems in stressful situations. Now, that's a double-edged sword, because now you're like, oh, we're going to stress your kid out and make them crazy. No, you got to be careful and say that in a positive way and feel them out there. Why does it help them with self-confidence, though? See, I would say 100% of the time, I would say, if their big, important thing was self-confidence. Remember, I'm always talking about the most important thing to them. If self-discipline was the most important, I talk about self-discipline. But I'm talking about self-confidence now. So if sparring was the most important thing, I'd say self-confidence, this is going to help them with their self-confidence, because if they're in a stressful situation, this is how I use this, if they're in a stressful situation, like they feel threatened, they'll be able to make the right choice. That's developing self-confidence in lots of situations. If you ever feel scared, you have to be able to make the right choices. This is where they're going to learn to make the right choices and have the right reactions. So that would be self-confidence. Sound a little better? Does that sound better than what he said with this long thing about... See, he was trying to describe the feature. You see where we get in problems? He was trying to take the feature of sparring and say it's reaction time and this and this and this and this, instead of relating it to what the real benefit is. Was that an improvement, what I said? Did you write that down? Okay. Okay, you guys get the idea? Okay, give me one.
So, well, I have a question actually.
Oh no.
Because it.
$5 for questions.
Go into this. Because with our program, and you know, a master, with our program, our character development is the program, is the product.
That's fine.
So how do you make that the feature?
No problem. That's no problem at all. So what do?
So I would say that our character development program uses the martial arts to, and the mind-body connection.
Well, hold on though. The character development program isn't you doing kicking and punching though. The character development program is something else though. The character development program is during the classes, you're talking about character development, right?
We are highlighting the students, we are building confidence, self-esteem, self-control, self-discipline.
Okay, so the feature is throughout our martial, so character development program is a feature. So that would be a feature, character development program. And then the benefit is throughout the martial arts training, I might say the benefit is I might say the benefit is the actual character development skills that you put. So feature would be character development program, and then the benefit is the specific skills. In my program, it's going to be specifically respect, honesty, discipline, self-esteem, communication, and communication, honesty, and how many? There's 6 of them. So those are the 5. It would be self-esteem. What's the one I'm not doing? It's the one we just did. No, that's same as honesty. why it's not coming to me. Okay, so it's going to be discipline, self-esteem, respect, communication, vision. Vision's the other one. Go ahead, I should have that one. So it's going to be vision, self-esteem, honesty, discipline, respect, and communication. So now, I have those as benefits. We're specifically going to talk about each one of those every single month, and because self-confidence is the most important thing for you, each one of these, as we go through every month, is going to help them with their self-confidence. Now, I can elaborate on that more or not, depending on what specifically self-confidence was for them. What I will generally do is, the reason they wanted self-confidence, I will know. The kid's shy. Okay, that's going to be very important for communication. So communication is understand first and be understood second. So what they learn to do is listen first and then communicate with other people. Well, they also need to be in our leadership program. Part of our leadership program is they learn to speak in public, which is #1 here in America, and I'm going to use the same thing I did before. Okay? So you do character development program, and we do that too. So we have performance skills, presentation, and physical skills. That's a feature. That's a specific thing we do. It's in our class planner. So every line of our class planner is one of the features.
Yes, sir.
And then what do? That's what we do, and then we explain why that matters.
And we explain it by using their objectives for their students.
No, you elaborate based on their objectives. So your page here is generic because you don't know what their specific needs are, right? It's different for every kid. So what you want to be good at in the end, your end game is what you do, ideally almost what I just said. Your class planner, you do A, B, C, D. It's almost as simple as A, B, C, D. And then why that matters. Because if in your class planner, you do A, B, C, D, and it doesn't matter, if you can't think of why that's important, then why are you teaching it? It's kind of that simple, isn't it? So if you throw some crap up on the board and say, well, we do this, but it's not in your class planner, then you don't actually do this. Okay? But you probably do it. You're just not consciously thinking about it. See, the business part isn't separate from the martial arts part. The business part isn't separate from the martial arts part. So don't be shy. I mean, if in your class planner you do A, B, C, D, just try to think about how that really matters to people. It doesn't mean you change your class planner. Just say we do, like, what's 5 things you do in your program, Travis? 3 things. Do 3 things. Like, what was your list? What are 3 things?
Are you talking about for?
3 things in your program. If I was taking a class with you, what are 3 major categories I would learn?
Are you talking about in the leadership? It's different from the history?
In leadership or anything. If I'm in your leadership program, what do you do? What would I learn in the whole thing? I learned in all your stuff. What are 3 things?
I'm not sure. You're talking about the technical.
What are 3 things? Yeah, 3 major categories. Do I learn? I learned fighting from the ground, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was getting to.
Okay, so learning fighting from the ground. Your instructors have to teach me 3 major things. What are 3? There are many more things than that, but what are 3 major things?
Defend yourself off of your back.
Okay, defending myself on the back. Why is that important to me?
Because there's a likelihood that if you have to defend yourself, you will end up there.
What percentage of time do people actually get attacked? It's not 0, right? I mean, there's a certain amount of time. So I might, in my benefit, this is a pretty common attack. It's judged by the FBI at some percentage. I don't know what percentage. It isn't like, every day, right? I mean, it's been probably a while since anybody in this room's been like, actually attacked on the ground, hopefully. But you would say that this is part of a really important defense that you need to learn. So that could be the benefit. That might just be it. It just could be a self-defense benefit. But if it's confidence that they want to learn, so now I would bring in the reason that matters for self-confidence. And then you'll have to come up with that. Because if it's for a kid, it should be explained to them.
Right.
So you got to start getting good at that. Does that make sense to everybody? So we got to finish with money here, okay, guys? And I've got a limited amount of time. So hold the question for a while and maybe we can answer. So let's do this. You guys have already got some features and benefits. Whatever you've got is probably as good as you're going to get at the moment. When you go back, you can make your nice features and benefits. You can copy some of mine. You can talk to me later about it. You can email me and we can work on it, all right? But whatever you've got right now, and all you're going to do for now is do the features and benefits presentation. So if I was doing it with you, and let's say I was skipping ahead to the leadership portion, I would say we're going to work on performance skills. This is specialty and extreme martial arts that teaches the ability, I'm reading right off the thing, the ability to perform in any situation. So that way, to help your kid with, I'm going to use self-discipline, with self-discipline, they learn this in class. We don't want them to do it at home. They learn exactly when they're supposed to learn it and when they're not supposed to do it. Does that make sense, Mr. Jones? Perfect. They're also going to learn presentation skills. So they learn how to speak in public. We teach them 6 specific skills of how to speak in public and how to present themselves. That applies to anything. They're going to learn how to do this in the context of a martial arts class, but also how they can learn to speak in public at school. And later when they're an adult, like we talked about, was really important when they were an adult. And I've got the sheet, the past, present, future sheet also out here, and I'm pointing to it. Okay? And as we said, that's the #1 fear in America. So he's going to, right now, at 5 years old, going to start to learn those things in our leadership program. And he's also going to learn some extra physical skills. And these physical skills are what we do in the extreme martial art program that expands on what we do in our regular curriculum, so that he's even better at our regular curriculum. So that then he learns a higher level of discipline, because we require more out of our leadership students than we do of everybody else. Because you want more out of your kid than what other parents expect out of their kids, right? Perfect. That's the right attitude, sir. I wish every parent wanted as much out of their kid. Okay, I waited for a nod. Okay, good. Do you have any questions about this? Does the leadership program sound like what's best for him? Okay, so that's all you're going to do. I explained 3 things. I included self-discipline. You guys now have to do self-discipline, not self-confidence. I tricked you. Okay? You understand what you're doing?
Sir?
You explained 3 things. You're not allowed to explain it to one of your teammates. It's got to be somebody from a different school. Explain 3 things. Got it? You do it, they do it, and then find somebody else, you do it, they do it. Just write it in. Make sense? Go. Question quick.
All of it is geared towards self-discipline.
You explain the feature and benefit that you wrote, because whatever you wrote is probably as good as you got right now. Even if you don't think it's good now after I critiqued everybody, even if you think it sucks, okay, still do it the way you did it. And it's going to be self-discipline, that's right. You do it, they do it, go to somebody else. You do it, they do it. Go. You got to do a bunch of these. Practice, go. Okay, hold on. Raise your hands, guys, and both do it once.
I love your energy.
Okay, not too bad. You should be able to do that each once in at least the amount of time I gave you. So this whole thing with the whole feature and benefit, you saw my sheet with about 15 different points or 20 different points, should only take you about 10 minutes. It's not a long thing. You're going pretty quick through that. Some of the features and benefits you won't elaborate on a lot about confidence. You've already spent a bunch of time setting their goal. The entire renewal conference should only take you about 30 minutes when you get to the point of features and benefits, at the most. Because they've already tried class, they've already liked leadership, they've already said yeah. Now, who said at the end of this, so does that leadership sound like the right thing for you? That's a big no. Okay, so everybody write So all right. So everybody write something like that down. So how's that sound? Does leadership sound like the right thing for you? Does leadership sound like the right thing for Johnny or Mr. Jones, however you're referring to the kids? Does leadership sound like the right thing for the child's name, however you're referring to the kids? Like I told you, I refer to them as proper names. I would like to have you guys do practice with 3 more people right now and try different scenarios, but right now we got to kind of move on to the next part, which is money.